Okay, thank you very much. So what I'm going to talk about is climate model Acuity. I ask a question, do our models need spectacles? So spectacles means eyeglasses, not Cirque du Soleil or anything like that. So the question we often have to address is climate change. Climate change has two aspects. There are scientific questions and there are decision issues. So scientific questions are things like, why is climate changing? How fast is it changing? Can we predict what the future climate looks like? Can we detect human effects on the climate system? Decision issues are things like this. How should we prepare for more frequent severe drought? Is China really emitting less carbon dioxide as it has promised? And should New Orleans be abandoned because sea level is going to swamp it too often in the future? So there's a linkage between those scientific questions and those decision issues. And that linkage is that in order to take action on a decision that matters to us, we have to have accurate, precise, and low uncertainty information about the climate system, which we hope to get from climate models. So there is a fundamental tension, however, which is that in order to get the sort of information that's actionable, it has to be local. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. However, our greatest certainties about climate in the future come at the global scale. That is global average temperature change, global average changes in precipitation, and so on. So what we have to do in order to resolve this tension is we have to provide reliable information at what I'll call an actionable scale. So I'll give you an example. Now, I'm sorry, there are a lot of little tiny postage stamps on the screen here, but each one of them is a map of the world, is a time series, and you're seeing on each time series a bunch of pink and blue curves. The blue curves are the planet without any humans. Because we have a climate model, we can do whatever we want, and one thing we can do is we can wipe out humans and see how the Earth would go without humans. That's the blue curve on all these charts. The red curve is the planet with humans. And if you look at the one at the bottom here, right here, this shows you the two curves are different, which is our smoking gun. It says humans are, in fact, responsible for the warming we've observed over the past century. But the problem with this picture is that the only two things, and we can also zoom in to continental scale, but there's only two of these postage stamps that are decision-making regions. One is Australia, which has a government, and one is Europe, which has a confederation of governments. All of these others are not decision-making regions. So we can't give information to people who need to make decisions. So here's another problem we have. Models don't agree. If you ask us what's going to happen to rainfall over Europe, we might use this model, which happens to be a model from France, where the answer is not much, maybe a little bit drier in Portugal. Or we might use this model, which is a model from the United States, which says Southern Europe is destined to become a desert. So which one is right? Well, what we can do is we can give our models spectacles. By that I mean give them better acuity. And the way we do that is by increasing the resolution of the model. So here's a model on the left where we've done the same question. What's future rainfall in Europe look like? And the model on the right, same question, but now with a model having spectacles. And here we can see that the answer is, unfortunately, a little bit more of the dire side, where Southern Europe becomes much drier. If we look at things like extreme drought, same story. With a model with spectacles, we see that the North American Great Plains are destined for much more frequent extreme droughts. And this is a very important figure because it has huge implications for water resource managers, agriculture, and people who might make investments in futures. So my message for you is local and regional decision makers critically need information that they can use to make those decisions. Climate models might be able to help, but we need to give them the eyeglasses to be able to do it. Thanks.